of Crystar, a fantasy world of crystal warriors, demons, and wizards. Good wizards like Ogioti, evil wizards like Zardeth, and underworld demons like Moltar.
Goodness and right, evil and might, the winner is out to you.
Welcome back to the Titanium Hangar. Welcome to Retro Wednesday, and today I want to talk to you about Crystar and Crystar packaging. And I did not get like the boxed playset. I don't have the box with playset, boxes for the dragon and the catapults, all that kind of stuff. But we will talk about those. But I did get pretty much every figure carded. There's one that's kind of a duplicate that I didn't bother with, but we'll talk about that. So it's a variant that we'll be discussing in here. But this is not very easy to get a collection of Crystar together. Wish I would have done it like 2018 when it was a lot easier, but anyhow, this is like the last 3 years been working on this. So I'm going to show each one of these, talk a little bit about each one on this fun Retro Wednesday. Remco Crystar coming up. All right, so we're going to start with the bad guys. Now, normally I start with the good guys, the heroes, but we're going to start with the bad guys. I'm going to do a comparison here to Super 7 and their figures. Now, this is about the size of a vintage Star Wars figure or a vintage G.I. Joe. Pretty much the same scale. Super 7's kept it pretty classic like that. So you can see that the packaging is a little bit taller, but about the same width. It doesn't take up more space on the aisle other than maybe 1.5 inches, 2 inches higher there. Also, this one was originally $3 marked down to $1.50, and then I really can't tell what it was marked down below that. 50 cents maybe? 15 cents? I don't know. But I think the price tags are fun, so that's always kind of fun to get the idea, like how much did this stuff cost. So this one is Zardeth, which is the evil wizard. And then we see another Zardeth coming here in a little bit. I do want to say that number one, this was a cheap figure. I got it for like 50 bucks. It's probably the cheapest figure in the toy line. I am pleased with how clear his bubble looks because you're going to see some that are amber colored or yellowed. The back, I think, is about the same for all of them. So you got the comic just printed on the back. And then you have down here all of the characters. So 1982 Remco, New York, made in Hong Kong. And you've got Crystar, Moltar, Ogioti, Feldspar, Warbow, Zardeth. This is the one we're looking at. Magma Man, and then the dragons. So, yeah, with that, that's the first one that we're getting into, and probably the most boring. Next up is Moltar. Probably the next cheapest. Probably another one I got for 50. Oddly enough, okay, so I have loose versions that are in nicer shape because he's got some discoloration on his chest. It just happens. But he's sealed. So he's got a nice clear bubble on him. Looks kind of good. You got the background. Now this art is on all of them. This whole Crystar art. And then it shows the castle. It's on all of them over here too. Free Prisma Crystal. You got it free if you spend your $3. And then same thing on the back. So there's not much more to see on the backs of all of these. But it is kind of fun to see. Now we can go into the kind of crystal structure of the figure holder. And I think it's the same on most of them, and it's not just flat either. Kind of bows out to get the feet, and bows up right here. Really a cool, very similar, well, semi-similar to Masters Universe bubbles, but yeah, there's Moltar. Some of these are going to need to be on my makeshift stand I have because they're not the greatest, but another one with a very clear bubble, which I'm very pleased with. A nice clear bubble on the guy. This one is Magma Man. Now this one was a little more expensive. I had to pay up a little bit for this one. Probably closer to 100. Simply because, well, the figure itself is a little harder to get. Maybe because people troop build it. I don't know. That might be it. But for whatever reason, he's a little harder figure to get. But to get it sealed is even harder. But, I mean, it's not the hardest one. I think the bad guys are significantly easier to get than the good guys. But, yeah, probably the hardest bad guy to get of, well, the only 3 bad guys. So I guess you do need a troop build. Well, there's a 4th, but he's in a box with the dragon rider. And again, his back looks the same. Now we're on to good guys, and we'll see another Zardeth. For whatever reason, they wanted to make the wizard into a deluxe wizard. He'd probably stand on his own. I don't know. I'm going to use the stand, I guess. My makeshift stand. So the thing about this one is another one with a very clear bubble. I'm very pleased with it. It's like I've seen a lot more of them come and go, and I'm like, well, mine's still the best of what I've seen, and you know, $50 is I think what I paid for it, or less. But the thing about this one, it went for 92 cents. I like looking at the price tags. Toys R Us kind of deal. I think it was originally around $3, and in 1982. So those are the days. Good old OG Odie, same sort of backing on the back with the comic. But it's really fun to look at these. It's really fun to get to see like how these looked in the package, how they looked if you went to the store. And real quick, I did see someone's Crystar collection online somewhere where he had looked like store shelves, and he had them hanging on pegs, looking like he's going to like Kmart or Toys R Us. And that was a really fun look. It wasn't just Crystar 2. You had a Crystar section, and then he had other sections. That was a lot of fun. I think most of the rest of these are going to be plagued with the amber yellowing of the bubble. Now, I don't know why, and it's very rare to find any of these characters that I'm about to show with super clear bubbles. It doesn't make sense. Weren't they all produced around the same time? Why? I don't know. Maybe it has to do with the factory, the batch of blending. Like I don't know. But this one is Warbo, and Warbo looks pretty good. And he's kind of a $100 figure now. I see him sell for 100 plus all the time, which it blows my mind, because I remember when I was collecting the loose stuff, like Warbo was cheap, and I think I'd see people settle for 60 and think that's too much because I got mine way cheaper. Well, of course, I pieced mine together through lots, so it's a lot different way to do it, but pretty cool figure. I like him as like he's got this strap that goes over him. I guess that's like a bunch of arrows that are going to go into his crossbow kind of thing. I guess that's what that was. But there is Warbo, another $3 figure from the Target. Next up, we've got Feldspar, who's kind of the mix of the two, good and bad. Probably should have gone from bad guy to good guy, but he's got the lower legs of kind of like a Moltar or a Lava Man, more of a Lava Man. And then the upper body of a Crystallian Warrior, crystal figure, Feldspar. There's his two accessories packed in there, and Feldspar's gotten to be a pretty darn expensive figure himself. And he's got his little purple. I think he's the only one with a purple one of those. And yeah, pretty cool figure. When I was first started collecting the loose stuff, he was not very hard to get, but the accessories were the trick. Like, it was tough to get his accessories. Nowadays, he's just a hard figure to get. So even loose, I think I got him for around 100, because I really didn't want to spend much on the carded. I was like, I only collect carded if I can get them cheap enough to make sense. And since it's, a few years ago, the carded ones were selling for less than what loose ones sell for now. So that's how collecting goes sometimes, especially with vintage, which is why if you see something that you want that's vintage and the price is within your budget and the realm of reality, I'd say jump on it, because waiting, you might regret it. Then again, of course, you can jump on it and then still regret it. That's a possibility. And next up, we have Crystar himself. Now, as you can see, he has kind of a amber-colored plastic. That's probably why I got him as cheap as I did. Plus, he's got some serious veins and creases and stuff. But he's a sealed Crystar, and I got him for a little more than what loose complete Crystars go for. And I pondered it, but $250. I paid $250. Nowadays, people ask $500. I think they get $500. It's crazy, but of course, those are a little nicer than mine. I'm okay with having it less nice and just knowing I paid half of what people have to pay now to get it, I guess. But with that, it's just nice to have a carded version of this figure. Yes, I would love to upgrade them one day, but at the end of the day, I'm happy. This is the kind of enjoying the stuff you have, the whole philosophy I've been talking about lately. Enjoy what you have, and I don't stress too much. I like looking, though. It's fun, but, you know, the prices on some of these, just a little out there. And with that, there's still deals to be had, though. Like, you could have probably gotten serious deals on this in July, and then December. December's the next month that, like, vintage stuff will pop up for a pretty reasonable price to help people pay for their Christmas. It's just the cycle of how it goes. Anyway, Crystar sealed, and yeah, a lot of fun. Next up, we've got, let's zoom out a bit here, because we're getting into the Deluxe series of figures. And so these Deluxe figures are a little different. They came with a lot of extra stuff. And oddly enough, I don't think any of mine have price tags. So I don't know. I assume probably $5 if they were charging $3 for the regular ones. $5 for this, maybe $6. I don't know. And I feel like they probably are a little higher price point. And at a little higher price point, they probably are. They just didn't produce as many. I feel like these were produced at a lower amount. Because the loose figures, there's less of them in existence, which I think is a really good example of that being less. But this one's the Catapult. No, not the Catapult. The Crystal Warrior Battle Set. And this is supposed to come with the purple guy. Now, I see him with purple guy. I spent $250 on this. This is way too much, in my opinion, for what it is. But this is the extra Dragon Rider. So this is a Dragon Rider in here, not a purple guy. And I messed with it, and I got the sword back in place, but it popped out as I was messing with this. But you can get the sword back into place if you do a few tricks. There's a few tricks. You can kind of pull out a little bit on the bubble and then tap it, and it will kind of get it back in place. I did it. I got the sword back in place. Anyway, it comes with this fire pit thing, and it comes with a weapon rack and some weapons to put on the rack and an extra shield and a sword. And so this is how you could see, like, how are there so many swords popping up, but a complete Crystar is really hard to get? How come there's so many extra shields out there? Because they had these packs. Because Crystar was the only one that's packed with sword and shield in the standard one. So these Deluxes had extra accessories and weapons. And kind of a cool idea. Let's look at the back of this. I still think it looks like the rest of them. And it does indeed look like the rest of them, except just blown up bigger on this much more giant card back. Let's get an idea of how big this is too on the next one. Next, we got the Crystal Warrior Catapult set. This is the Catapult Warrior, and this is the guy. Okay, so let's get a little closer up on the figure. This is the guy that's got, like, I'm going to show it, the, like, side horn, what do you call him? Feather in his cap? He's got that something going on there. Now, let's get him to stand. He is unpunched, lucky for me, and a pretty clear bubble for the most part. But, and this is the big but, that's where all the good stuff stops. I mean, he is separating and stuff. So, which is why I got a pretty good deal on him. I got him for about $150, something like that, which I think is really good for this set. I mean, and that's another thing when you're collecting. Like, everybody that's collecting expects perfection, or they pass. You're gonna never complete it. You can get what you call fillers. I actually probably just gonna live with my fillers for the rest of my life and just be happy with them, because I have that ability. But people will call it low standards. I call it cheap. Try to be cheap. But just getting this catapult and these, I guess you call them bombs, or just rocks, or crystal rocks, rock bombs. I saw one of these pop up with the catapult and those three for $60 shipped, and I was like, why am I not buying an extra one? It's like, 'cause I've got one, but what do I need an extra one for? And I couldn't think of another reason, but another reason would be if you, for whatever reason, had one like this and it was missing because it starts coming undone and some of these fall out. I actually did open it back up and put a couple in there myself. It is what it is. So yeah, part of why I got it cheaper, it was missing some of these, because it was partially open. But anyway, the Crystal Warrior Catapult set, a lot of fun. A lot of fun. The cheapest, it is such a cheap little flimsy catapult. And yeah, mine doesn't even have the rubber bands on it in here. So if you had a sealed one, like a sealed one that didn't have it open and missing parts, yeah, you'd have rubber bands on it. Catapult Warrior. Next up, we got Zardeth 2.0 or Deluxe Zardeth. The Spell of the Evil Wizard. So they named the set, this deluxe set, Spell of the Evil Wizard, and it comes with some stuff that I don't even know what you call it. You got like a telescope that mounts to this quadrupod. It's not a tripod, it's a quadrupod. So it's very stable. It has a crystal ball, you can see the future, and you can remove the crystal ball holder, or it kind of looks like a soup cup, a soup bowl, to hold the orb. And you can put that on there. Or you can put whatever this clear kind of spinning device is. But it's kind of cool. He's got a cauldron here so he can stir it up. He's got a stir or an oar. And he's got a standard weapon. And then this one here comes with a felt kind of jacket. And it felt good. It felt. And then I don't know what this little sign and a stand. I don't know what that's supposed to be. I mean, I have all the stuff loose. I collected it, truly not knowing what it was. And I did look at pictures of carded before I owned a carded when I was just doing my loose collection to match it up. And so with that, we'll go into the next one, which is OGOD Deluxe. And he has all the same black parts, but they're gray. But oddly enough, it doesn't have that gray plastic syndrome. They don't seem to break as easy as some other gray stuff. All right, so we've got OGOD in his deluxe form, 2.0. Both of these are a bit yellowed on their bubbles. And I just want to point out that the yellowing is going to make the color differentiation not as differentiated. But here, and here are black, which are gray here, and here, and here. So the only real difference in the accessories are the fact that you get the different accessories. The accessories that were originally packed with the figure. This guy comes with a raincoat, kind of like he's who is that fisherman? Gordon's fisherman? Is it Gordon's fisherman? Something like that. That wears the yellow raincoat in the commercials. But with that, that's the one major difference in the set. And yeah, the fact that they're both kind of yellowed. And I think I got both of these for like $110 each. Might have got them from the same guy, I don't remember. But the thing was I did the math like on how much I had in my loose complete set, and I know that was more than $110 each because I had bought them separately. But I do have like extra accessories for each one. It's just had to buy a couple of lots to complete them, and it cost me way more than $110. But anyway, I thought that was a pretty good price. Of course, you know, everything's relative. If it had a clear bubble, which I don't see very many of these with clear bubbles, if they had a clear bubble, I'm sure it'd be worth a whole lot more. I mean, that's just the way it is, condition, all that. But Magic of Crystal is what they call the set. This is actually like a sticker. Yeah, these are all stickers they just slapped on them because the card backs were all the same. Yeah, they don't even have like the name on it. And that's funny. This one back here says Magic of Crystal in the bottom corner. Weird. They use it $2.90 or something. Uses the same card back. I will hand it to Remco. They did make these as cheap as they could so that they could get the price point lower so most kids can get them. And I think most people that ended up having any of this Crystar stuff wasn't because like, hey, I'm a huge Crystar fan. It was because parents got it for them out of the clearance bin. And when the kids got the toys, like I did with my dragon, I liked it. I think that you got this for a Christmas gift as like, hey, let's get little Johnny a couple more things real cheap for $1.50 out of the clearance bin. And Crystar lived there probably in 1983. All right, so lastly, I'm going to talk about the box stuff that I don't have. So just show you some pictures. There is the Crystal Castle, and I had the opportunity to pick a couple of boxes up over the years, but I just thought the money wasn't worth it, and I didn't have a place to display it. So if I can't display it, then it's not worth the money to me. And with that, I passed. But it's kind of a fun, cool looking box. But it is made as cheap as they possibly can make it, and still look okay. But Crystal Castle, that's probably the most elusive box to get these days. Then you've got the dragons. There's 2 different dragons. And yeah, and then you've got the backs of them too. So the Crystal Dragon is, I think, most sought after, and the box is probably more valuable than the other dragon. So the Bad Guys Dragon. And the Bad Guys Dragon doesn't have any wings. It's they're all just statues for the most part. But still fun to have, and still look pretty cool on display. And yeah, I guess they look good in the box. It's closed box, so you don't know. And lastly, you got catapults. So you got the good guy and bad guy catapults, which are stupid expensive for whatever reason. Again, I think the one for Crystar is more sought after than the one for the bad guys. So I think that's the way it is across the board with this toy line. Anything that's for the good guys is far more sought after than the bad guy stuff, but at the same time, some of the bad guy stuff can be expensive. So anyhow, that's a wrap on the boxes that I don't have. Alright, so I sure hope you enjoyed this look at Crystar, Remco Crystar, and the packaging, all the figures. Just a trip down memory lane. It's a fun little toy line that didn't last very long. And the clear figures, well, it makes it kind of cool, the crystal clear figures. The accessories are really interesting that they came up with to include in there. And sadly, they are getting harder and harder to get, especially complete. But let me know what you think about this. Do you remember Crystar? Did you remember it, forget it, remember it again? Let me know in the comments. So like, subscribe. Happy Retro Wednesday. Tattoo your finger out.
Each figure with a crystal prism that makes everything look like this. The Saga of Crystar collection. Each figure sold separately by Remco.